You don't need bigger audience, more followers. You just need the right one. Everything is watered down. And ultimately, where we're going with AEO, right, is more specificity, the better. Like, you want to be niche, 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 niche. Most people are trying to go after aspirational audiences instead of actually being who they are and attracting people who are like them. And that is actually the magic. Welcome back to Humanize Your Brand.
No. It's welcome back to Humanize Your Brand with Rachel and Joshua B. Lee.
Okay, so soft, smooth jazz. So it's funny because Josh and I, we do our recordings. They're very recent, but we do them in batches. And
everything today is a different day of the year. They're all separate.
But no, it's not like we record them the day before. Come on, it's not realistic. Okay, but today this is our final episode of this batch. You know, we're looking at it, and we want to talk about audience and the fact that you don't need bigger audience, more followers. You just need the right one, and that really the riches are in the niches, as marketers have said for a while, but nobody believes. And Josh is like, meh, you know? And then Josh, I said, why don't you go bring your little sticker box, AI sticker box that he just got into the house, and he's very excited. And his eyes went up, and he came in here with his sticker box, and he was so excited to turn on and talk about audience building for this episode. And I thought, man, what a perfect example of know your audience.
Bro,
okay?
Just because,
So first of all, I needed a way to engage Josh, and I know my husband well enough. If you're watching on YouTube, pull it up.
Right, look. Sticker
What's
box.
It called?
It's called Sticker Box.
Crank Your Imagination Sticker Box by Hapiko. We're not sure on exactly how you say the brand. And I said, Josh, how did you what is this and how did you find it? And he said, oh, it was on one of the websites that Engadget. And
or on Great, one of the two.
One of these two websites that he goes on, and he found this.
For the new cool tech toys.
Which is
now
thinking about who he is and how people attract Josh. First of all, tell people about the freaking sticker box.
I don't know. I think it's cool. I mean, my kids are always loving to use their imagination. They love to create. They love to draw. They love to do all that kind of stuff. And this is basically, it's got this little red box here. You hit the button, and it's got AI in there. AI inside. It
has a little computer.
Remember Intel inside?
No.
Okay. AI inside. And you hit the button. You're like, I want a black poodle sitting on a beautiful woman's lap. And she's wearing a cowboy hat. And then all of a sudden, it will make that exact sticker.
And it prints. It literally prints.
It prints it shortly. And I mean, that is crazy.
And then you'd hit draw on it. So we'll see how accurate this thing is and how fun.
I think it's going to be amazing.
I think it's going to be amazing too. But that's not the point of this episode is not a sponsored advertisement. Although, Hapiko, if you're interested.
I don't know. I'd rather have Yeti sponsor me.
We're open to all barters.
Rachel, this is not how we talk about our core idea of the podcast.
Oh, humanizing?
Because
no. Guys, bills got to be paid. And if our audience and message resonates with you, we are open to brand partnerships. That is authenticity. But let's not go too far into this because it's
about having the right audience. I mean, it's about attracting your tribe and pushing away people that do not align because everyone can sell something to someone, but do you want to sell something to everyone?
You can't.
Or you don't want to. Because again, I guarantee. Because even if you do, it's going to cause you more problems and headaches than it's worth.
There is no brand, if you think about the biggest brands in the world, that became the biggest brands in the world by saying we want to attract everyone. Maybe their missions have evolved. If you think about Microsoft now, which is to empower every person, every organization on the planet to achieve more. It has a very bold idea there that covers well over $1 billion.
I mean, it does help that they're the first $1 trillion company out there.
But when Microsoft first came out, it wasn't about that, right?
Yeah.
And it was specific. And where we're at today is, and when we were on that Archangel, was it Seth Godin?
Yeah.
It was Seth Godin that was the guest, who I absolutely love. I always think about him and Adam Grant.
We'll have to have Seth on it.
And I would love to have, oh God, if he would come on, that would be me a little bit giddy.
You hear that, Seth?
Yeah.
She's going to get giddy.
He's just such an amazing genius marketer.
Bring it back. Okay. ADHD.
No, it's not my, shush. Something he said was so compelling to me. He said, we're not in this age where you need to have 100,000 or 1 million people that follow you or a community. Think about the 1,000. Who are the 1,000 people that are your diverts, your tribe, your advocates that are going to purchase from you because they know, like, trust you, all of those things? That's who you need to focus on.
Yeah.
And I know that seems simple, but what's happened over the last 10 years, and especially over the last couple with demand generation and automation and the COVID world and everything being online, is that it's been about more leads, bigger lists, bigger, and more followers. And in fact, in doing that, we've lost sight of who we're actually talking to. And the real winners, and I put that in
God, everything gets watered down.
Everything is watered down. And ultimately, where we're going with AEO, right, is more specificity, the better. Like, you want to be niche. What is that face?
Yeah, I mean,
are you?
I say this, and I hear what you're saying, and I want, because I mean, it makes, you're talking about Seth Godin. I mean, I could sit here and go, oh, Gary Vee says he loves LinkedIn because it's not about how many followers you have on that platform. It's how many people actually truly engage and have conversations with you. It's the one platform where you don't need millions of followers to create massive opportunity.
Right.
But we're talking about guys and women. I mean, there's a lot of women out there as well.
Although we haven't mentioned any, but yeah. But Sarah Blakely is a great example.
Yeah, that they can say this, but they've made it, right? When they first started, they were going after everyone. So, like, how do we actually bring this back to now?
I don't think
okay, then let's get into it more, because
especially Seth, he's like no.
And you're like Seth, you're right, because even Gary, he started off in the winery. He was wine specific. He was the wine guy. Yeah. So I mean, I want to make sure that we actually bring it back to reality, where we're talking to our audience here that isn't the well-known names always. I assume most well-known people in the world are watching our podcast.
Of course, duh.
But
the biggest names out there.
But
Bill Bronstein and
but
if I'm lucky, our parents.
But I want to make sure that we're bringing this back, and why it's so important because micro influencers are going to be so key in this world, and being able to talk to an audience that actually resonates with not just what you can do, but who you are, where you came from, how you grew up, what you believe in, all these things, especially in this world of AI, of this overstimulation. They're going to look for the people that put them in that flow state, that connection, that they're like, oh, they're like me. And I think that's what we're actually kind of getting into.
Yeah. And I think that there's potentially been a mentality where it's like, oh, I don't want to isolate communities, right? And I think marketers, if you think about like advertising dollars, for instance, and I worked in that world, it was, oh, this is general market budget. This is the multicultural budget, which is always a sliver that specifically goes toward Black advertising and marketing, and then Hispanic advertising, and everybody else falls into general market, right? And those conversations, those fights are still how it works today, which is really mind-boggling, actually, because that's nothing is general market, really. Like, there's always, and we have so much data now.
But this is also why
consumer and user behavior.
That's why Facebook does so well. I mean, they can go,
and that's why when
you
people
think about your mom,
right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, I saw this most perfect pair of, well, she saw that quote, but seriously, sometimes don't you ever see that sweater or that shirt or like the perfect thing that you needed to see, and you're like, whoa, like, how did you know that was made for me? Well, they're looking at our behaviors. They're looking at what we're saying, what people are saying back, how we're engaging.
Talking about your mom, I get the ad all the time that says, I'm like, man, I need to get her that shirt, which says, my son-in-law is my favorite kid.
Are you kidding?
Now, you ever seen that shirt? I get it all the time. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly the shirt that my family needs. Rachel's family needs.
I think that's hilarious, right? But it's such a, even though I knew you didn't want to do this episode, this is why audience building is actually so freaking fascinating, because that's how nuanced we can get with the data we have. There's actually so much data. Most companies have so much customer data, they haven't actually synthesized it at all to create really impactful campaigns, products, etc. So that's what's going to happen with AI. It's actually going to
shift, right? Like it's shifting from how many people can I get in front of versus how many people can I have conversations with, build relationships with, create opportunities with. And it's that with, right? It's not how many people can I get in front of. It's, and I think that's that shift that people want to be able to have. They want to be able to not only know, like, and trust the brand they're working with, they want to feel like the brand or the person they're talking to knows and likes them as well. And I think we're having that kind of that shift in our humanity. I mean, it's almost been that way, but like online, people are want to be able to feel connection.
For sure. And we feel connection when we have shared experiences with somebody, shared experiences, shared beliefs. And so, it's funny as we're talking about this, is I'm thinking about a client of ours that he's very intelligent. He's in quantum physics and blending the science of spirituality, essentially, right? And we were talking about his audience, and he had noted that these are seekers. What do you think a seeker looks like?
A seeker.
Hard.
There's a lot of seekers. I mean, everyone's seeking something in this world.
Hard to know, though, right, of what a seeker is. And so we had to, just to give context here, let's say I wanted to find the seeker on LinkedIn. What would that be like? And we had to push back and say, well, let's say I'm using LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is what we use to find the very specific
LinkedIn's
audience.
built-in CRM system.
Yes. And I wanted to find a seeker. I'm looking for some very nuanced signals that right now I think are going to be a little difficult for Sales Navigator to tell me, right? That somebody's, maybe they said that they're spiritual. Who knows? There's a couple things, but it's going to make it potentially even too niche for you to find. What are some other characteristics of somebody that's a seeker? Well, I would consider myself a seeker. Guess what?
A seeker of knowledge, a seeker for truth.
I'm a business owner. Boom. Right? How many years of experience? I have 10 plus years of experience. I am an entrepreneur. I'm a female. There's a lot of different pieces that fall into who Rachel is. And so as you're thinking about your audience that you specifically want to get in front of, it's, yes, you need to have those psychographic pieces. So like, sure, you could say a seeker, but you actually also need to have the demographic, geographic, kind of traditional marketing, because those pieces are really important in actually finding the person that's going to not just follow you, but potentially work with you or buy from you.
Well, and this is where that trust factor comes in. And I think this is why we look at, with human eyes, we're looking at the 7 different, neurotransmitters of trust, right? And being able to go in. And I think it's so important that you look for these secrets, you look for those other people.
That's insider information.
Shh, don't tell anybody that you're hearing this right now.
We haven't talked about that.
Okay. Y'all didn't hear what Rachel whispered to me. But Ray, like, here's the thing, right? Like, I mean, as we move in this world and you're talking about being able to identify your audience wants to trust you. And the problem is that trust is actually a human characteristic. It is built on neurotransmitters that we're hitting in. And one of the things that I was just on an event and it really resonated with me, and I wanted to make sure that I hit it correctly. That's why I took a second to be able to make sure I Rachel, if I don't have my research information backed, Rachel will call me out and ask ChatGPT if Josh is
your audience.
if Josh is did Josh just tell me something that's accurate or not?
But he knows his audience.
But if you say something with authority, most
people don't question
you. But like seriously, so yes, I'm known as the dopamine dealer, and that's been one of the biggest things that we've heard over the years to be able to. That's social media that people look for. They're looking for those dopamine hits, being able to go through. And one thing I always say is dopamine without direction is insanity. That's social media. But dopamine with intention is connection, right? It builds flow state. It's what you and I do with our audiences, what I do in our messaging, things like that. But one of the bigger shifts we're seeing is it's because we're moving to this world of lack of trust into the trust recession.
We're already in that.
I know, but I'm just saying that we are continuing to move deeper into it, my love, that it's moving less from dopamine to more to people who are seeking oxytocin. And oxytocin is known as no. Yes, but known as the bonding or the cuddling hormone, right? The connection. It's fostering trust, attachment, contentment, right? And so like that's where we're seeing a lot of this bonding and trust, because that's what people are looking for, and that's what we get for that in person. So how can you mimic in-person connection online and bringing your audience in?
Which is kind of nice how you laughed about the birthing, but when a woman is giving birth,
Girl, you're right.
It's oxytocin
You're right.
that is needed to give birth and to create that natural process for the body to.
Well, you have to trust your body that the pain you're going through is accurate.
But what's interesting,
I'm gonna get in trouble for this.
You strap. But when they induced me, I was given Pitocin, which if many of the women. Yeah. And Pitocin, oxytocin, like there's a reason why it's called that. It's to mimic what's happening from oxytocin. Of course, it is not the natural way, because your contractions start to get all crazy when we create medicines that are not natural. Yeah. But I think it's interesting that you're bringing that up, because when we're birthing life and creating that.
And community is like birthing life.
Well, it's the essence. That's it. Like there's life and death. There's connection or death, like nothing.
Yeah.
And so,
which most people go and they try and be able to launch a podcast or everything else, and they're like, why am I not building connection? Why am I not birthing something that's changing the world? And maybe that
because they're probably seeking dopamine.
They're probably doing the dopamine hits, which is like, oh, I'm going to give someone a reward and pleasure, versus now we're moving into this world that people are needing that bonding and that trust.
Right. And so kind of to bring us back with that is the truth of the matter is to create bonding and trust and connection. If you think about that, just to have that circle of trust with your partner takes time. It takes moments to really connect, to listen to them, to ask them how they're doing, to go through shit together, right? And that builds that trust. Then when you think about how do I bring that into a marketing or business lens,
right?
Where we've been is that this is about scale. This is about, let me get thousands and thousands of leads in, because more and more and more equals more money, more possibility to create ROI.
But I want to stop for 2 seconds, because I hope everyone understands when you're asking for leads, all you're doing is asking for someone to give you more work, right? And that's a difference, right?
Give you more work.
No one wants leads. They want the relationships. They want the opportunities. And so when you go to a lead gen company, and this is what always pisses me off about lead gen companies, I know I'm getting on my high horse and I
but just do this and then make the turn.
I'm making the turn. It's the same thing around likes, right? Like everyone thinks they want likes. They want a whole bunch of likes. They want a whole bunch of views. Wrong. That's not what you want. That's what you've been taught to want. You've been taught to want leads. You've been taught to want likes and views. But what you want are the relationships that come from it, that come through it. And the only reason those come through are from these smaller audience. Like you can.
I think you want the
same thing with leads, right? Like out of leads, you might get 1,000 leads, but out of those 1,000 leads, you work them. You put the effort, the relationship in, the time, the energy, the effort in, and let's say you come out with 10 opportunities. And so that's where I'm trying to say is it's not about the audience of 1,000, it's about those 10 people. Right. And it's same thing with likes. It's not about the thousands of likes. I'd rather have 5 likes that turn into a conversation on the DMs. So did I make the turn, as Rachel says?
Yeah, I think that this is all part of the conversation around how big does your audience need to be?
Yeah.
And in the world that we are currently living in, is that it's been driven by vanity metrics. It's been by about more and more leads. And what we want you to think about as you're in 2026 and beyond is that it's not actually about more. It's about higher quality
Deeper.
relationships deeper. And that's even remarkably true. And if you look at B2B and you look at the enterprise side and you think about bigger company, the technology companies, even a company that's like, let's call it 50, 100 people, but they're serving potentially thousands.
Yeah.
They're having this exact conversation right now with their sales folks and with their people. They're reducing headcount,
Yeah.
right? To serve those customers. And they're saying, we want you to go deeper with right? You're not going to have as much time. We're going to use tools and machinery to help you do a lot of your work. So you're going to have to get to know and really understand those customers that you have. So, I think that it's an interesting conversation.
It is.
And we've always talked about who exactly is your audience, and we've always pushed our clients to be more specific, so much so that if you're searching them on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, how would we find them? And that's our takeaway for you.
But that's what you love. When everyone reaches out on LinkedIn, they send a message like, hey, Rachel, I see you're a coach. I'd love to be able to. And you're like, okay, you just use it for automation spam.
Yeah.
As they're thinking about more.
Nobody wants, exactly. They don't want to be spammed. Like, I just hit some filter. And listen, like, we're a small business. We don't want thousands of people. Other companies do have thousands of customers. So there is automation. There is going to be the mass messaging, right? There's always going to be that. But the most sophisticated marketers and growth experts today are using all of that data to get the most specific information on those customers to create as tailored experiences as possible. So instead of like, here's the campaign to welcome people, here's the campaign to get people to buy this product, you're saying, what does this customer, I know they're a small business, they're a restaurant owner, they're usually men, they're in the Southeast region of the US, like how specifically do I want to serve them up something? And so that's what we want you to think about, whether you're the smallest company or the biggest, you still need to think about niching down what you're doing as small as possible to really keep making money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think about this, and this is 2 things that pop in my head. One, I was just having this conversation with my daughter, Skylar. No, my daughter, whatever.
I know her.
We did the tarot card reading, and I was talking about, she's always trying to be friends to everybody. And it was like, okay, like this next year is the future of growth. We're going to go deeper in less relationships, right? So it's just funny that we're talking about this on a podcast after I just had this conversation about real life with Sky. So one, just had to say that. I know it has not much to do with the conversation right now, but I think it's important to be able to kind of show how real life, online is mimicking real life more than ever. And 2, what if TV shows try to be, how boring would a TV show be? How boring would a TV show be if it tried to make it for every single person on the planet to watch? Like, no one would watch it. It would be convoluted. We talk about different shows.
Like Today's Show or Willie Geist.
I guess, but that's news. That's not a show.
That's a show, Willie Geist. That is general market. All of that
that's
stuff
general market. But then you talk about like Stranger Things or things like that. Even we love that show, and it's too bad it's ending. But at the same time, like, it's not for everybody. There's so many people that, but it's not made for everybody. Like, every movie is not made for everybody. So it's the same thing. I just want people to think about if every show was generalized as marketing, it would be this.
But that's where we
Yeah.
are. The
Right.
truth of the matter is that we are very general market still. And so our guided, like at the biggest level, you think about advertising, but that's the personalization.
And that is branding.
Personalization.
And if you're going to have
No.
general marketing, and we just call that branding.
No. General market's your audience.
I mean, I know,
It's not
but
branding.
I just want to make sure we're clear on
One of
that.
the key pieces of building the brand is knowing exactly who your audience is. And who you're
Thank you.
serving.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Well, that wasn't the right way to get there.
Why? I knew you would say it
Oh, okay.
because I know my audience, as Rachel says.
Yes.
Okay, so look, let's land the plane. Let's
We're-
bring it back.
Oh, you
Now,
said-
should people listen and learn from what we're talking about today? Give me a reality check, Rachel.
I don't really. I think the big thing we want you to take away from today is to get more and more nuanced with the audience you're going after. And one of the key ways you can do that, if you're thinking about it from a personal branding, you're thinking about it from your own business perspective, is all of the unique pieces of you and your experiences and your likes and desires are what your first tier audience is going to be attracted to. Most people are trying to go after aspirational audiences instead of actually being who they are and attracting people who are like them. And that is actually the magic. We're trying to, and there's that book too on like a
Oh, right. Well, I mean,
yeah.
I still remember too. I mean, I remember this one time that someone came in, they were like, hey, Josh, can you help me attract 7-figure business owners that are looking to be able to double their income on a monthly basis? And I was like,
Are you doing this?
I'm like, cool, yeah, we could do that. It's like, well, I don't have any money to pay you right now because I'm not making any money yet. I'm like, dude, how can you teach a 7-figure business owner how to double their income if you don't make any money? And it's just like teach and share from your life, from your experience, what you've accomplished. Like, I hate the fakers. I mean, like, we talk about fake it till you make it, but like in AI right now and in the real world, like, people are looking for the people that not are fake it. Like, hey, this is the real. This is what's behind the mask. There is no mask, and this is
Yeah.
this is where we're moving to. And I think that relevance with your audience is gonna win every single time.
Yeah. You being vulnerable, you being clear on who you are, doing that storytelling, all of those pieces are going to make sure that you continue to attract the right person. And I want to say to you, this takes time. It takes time because even for Josh and I in working together and the evolution of Standout Authority and Humanize, I feel like things have started to click the most maybe recently, to be honest. And some of that is the market understanding. But it's also some of the way the clarity of our message and the confidence and the consistency and relevance that we've brought to the table that it's starting to happen. And we're starting to get clearer as we develop the humanized product and ecosystem, exactly who we want it to be for. It's a molding, because while we're talking to you about this, we're doing this. We are building another business. We're building a product, an engine. So we are thinking about who are going to be those first beta test users, who are going to be the 100% I got you, take my money. And it's not the aspirational, which is, hey, we'd love to get the bigger companies. We'd love to get the CMOs, but that's not where we are today. So we're in it with you and we're thinking about this.
Yeah.
I know this is the best advice that we could give you. This is such an important episode. Please share it with somebody. If anybody is trying to figure out how the heck do they do their marketing this year, you got to listen to this episode on audience. You got to listen to the episode on personal branding. I think that's it for today. Thank you.
That's it for today.
Yeah, thank
We
you so much
appreciate
for hanging
you.
with us.
We love everybody and have an amazing
Rest of your week.
Oh, wait, we weren't even on. You said week, I said day. Like, what the heck? All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye.
If today's episode sparked something in you, you don't have to keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who's building something with heart. And hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
If you're ready to humanize your brand now and show up with soul, grab our free guide, 3 Hidden Signals, at standoutauthority.com/3, the number 3, hidden signals. We'll see you soon.